Yep, I'm driving the new Lexus NX, and this is the one with the all-new user interface. Hooray! When Toyota created the Lexus division in 1989, the world craved sedans. It's all the brand offered. The RX crossover changed that, quickly becoming its best-selling vehicle and growing in size over the years. The NX debuted in 2014. It didn't get bigger because, well, Lexus didn't change it. Until now. The 2022 model is Generation 2. I've traveled to Phoenix, Arizona to check it out.
So when it arrives in dealerships this fall, the NX will be available at a very attractive price point.
The new NX doesn't look significantly different than the outgoing model, but it's not a refresh, it's all new. Lexus claims that it's been the best-selling vehicle in its class and the second best-selling Lexus, so obviously it's very important to the brand. So much so, there's now 4 different powertrains and, huzzah, a new user interface.
Now, we know how you all felt about the joystick and the trackpad. We heard a lot of feedback from the journalists. I see you smiling, laughing, maybe some other gestures. We know that we had room for improvement.
There's a fancy simulator to show it off. I'll get to that later. I'm focusing on the NX 350 model because it's the volume leader with a turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. The naturally aspirated 4-cylinder NX 250 is available in front and all-wheel drive. The 350h is a hybrid that's strictly all-wheel drive. Same with the 450h Plus, a plug-in hybrid with 37 miles of all-electric range. If you're guessing the NX shares a basic foundation with RAV4, you'd be right. That's just smart business.
And we have reduced the weight. The hybrid is over 210 pounds lighter, and the turbo is over 170 pounds lighter.
The 350's 2.4-liter Turbo 4 pumps out 275 horsepower and 317 pound-feet of torque. All-wheel drive is standard. I'll give you a little time to check out the gauge cluster animation before I show off the exhaust note. Okay, you good? There's a new 8-speed transmission and a new electric shift controller that requires deliberate action like many of these levers. There are shift paddles that feel satisfying and a hefty drive mode dial that fingers will enjoy touching. These modes do make a noticeable difference. I'll point out that the head-up display is minimal when cruising, but when your fingers brush the controls, more options are revealed. Those dots are functions that haven't been assigned yet. It can be customized. Performance. If you want it, you're going to be skipping the base NX 250. Lexus says it does 0 to 60 in a leisurely 8.6 seconds. The fastest NX is the plug-in hybrid. It does the 0 to 60 dash in 6 seconds flat. This turbo model is pretty good, 6.6. Now, 0 to 60 is a good benchmark, but it doesn't really say anything about passing power. This one has good oomph. On 2-lane roads, trying to pass an RV, no problem. The power band is good on this engine. Torque comes on early. Only electric motors do that better than turbo engines. Lexus has done a good job of improving its driving dynamics over the last 3 or 4 years. You might expect this to be soft and floaty. It's not. In fact, the suspension is a little bit firmer than you might expect. Plus, there's actually some road feel coming up through the wheel. The brand is trying to attract younger buyers. This luxury model does have some understeer when thrown hard into tight turns. Enthusiastic drivers should go with the F-Sport package. It adds an active variable suspension plus performance dampers front and rear. The champs in this class remain Porsche Macan and BMW's X1 and 2, plus there's the new Genesis GV70. So yeah, there's some sportiness to it, but it's never harsh, it's definitely comfortable. Lexus is taking the big tent approach here. The transmission offers nice smooth shifts. In regular mode, when passing, it's a little bit reluctant to downshift, but in sport, just fine. After an hour or so of two-lane highway driving with different road surfaces, the cabin seems to be appropriately hushed. Not flagship LS sedan quiet, but road trips will be pleasant. It won't cost too much either. The EPA highway fuel economy rating is 29 miles per gallon. I seem to be doing a little better than that.
That's pretty good gas mileage, but if you want really good efficiency, go with the hybrid. The EPA rates its average at 39 mpg. And then, of course, there's the plug-in hybrid with 37 miles of all-electric range.
If the plug-in is anything like Toyota's RAV4 Prime, though, it will be a scarce machine.
Like all modern vehicles, the NX here has an automatic engine stop-start system. This one shuts down pretty smoothly. Startup, not bad, and you can turn it off. That's a thing. It's pretty easy to do.
The cabin is available in 5 different colorways, including the F-Sports Black and Circuit Red Nulux, or synthetic leather. There's an intimate vibe in here. It might be more airy in lighter colors. There are 14 ambient light themes, hard to show that midday in Arizona. A panoramic glass roof can now be had, and open-pore wood panels warm things up. Small touches, like dipping mirrors when reverse is selected, and a digital mirror are good things to have, especially if the car is filled to the roof. Overall, materials have a premium look. Current NX owners might find this real estate a little bland. Some cut-and-sewn sections found on the outgoing model that had an upscale feel have been eliminated. The standard storage cubbies are here, nothing creative, but there are enough to get organized. Oh, well, wait, this is clever. Some wireless charging pads are positioned so the phone gets hit by the sun, which overheats it. Not a problem with the NX. Android Auto and Apple CarPlay are standard and wireless.
It's not very often that I talk about door releases, but the ones in the NX are pretty cool. Instead of pulling them, they're electronic. You push them. Very easy to open. Very simple. And you might be wondering, what if the power goes out, the battery goes dead? It's almost as if Lexus thought of that, huh? Yeah, you just pull the lever instead. Yeah, these are smart engineers. Now, that might seem a little bit gimmicky, but there's a reason for these door releases.
Now, Safe Exit Assist is constantly watching your blind spots when you come to a stop. If the vehicle's turned off, the system works for up to 3 minutes. As it's watching for the blind spot for pedestrians, bicyclists, or drivers, and you try to open the door, it's going to say, no, no, wait, watch for traffic, and it's not going to let the door open. Now, the door can be overridden. You hold down the button for 3 seconds, and the door will open. More than likely, by 3 seconds, whatever was in the blind spot has probably already passed at that point.
The big news is the in-house developed user interface with the catchy name, Lexus Interface. Goodbye trackpad. There's no real home page. It can be used as a touchscreen that I find a little laggy, but by design it's meant to be a casual voice prompt system like MBUX from Mercedes. At events like this, I don't have loads of time to assess highly complex technologies like this, but here's a taste of it in a demonstration buck with Chris Pedregon, a Lexus communications specialist.
First and foremost, let's start here with our navigation. Quick, seamless, intuitive, tilt, pan, north, south, and let me show you something really cool. Let's go over here to the corner of the golf course, pinch, zoom, tap and hold, and you get a point of interest.
Okay.
Yes. Super easy and intuitive, and let me show you what else that you can do with it using our intelligent assistant. Hey Lexus.
What would you like to do?
Take us to the Biltmore.
I found 15
So,
results. The first is Biltmore.
as she takes us to the Biltmore, one thing, I'm going to put her on pause for just a quick second.
Okay.
What I'd like to show you is, let's say you and I are meeting for lunch at the Biltmore. I'm going to go here, but I'm quite a distance away, whereas you may be still out shopping, running some errands. I can actually send my ETA to contacts on my connected device. It'll give you an arrival time, an address, location, and I just sent it over to your phone via text message. You have all of your screen settings here easily accessible for your HVAC, right? Not only that, but I'll show you a cool little trick just in case you don't want to see it on the map. You can expand it down. If you want to see it, it's there readily available. Now, if you are looking to adjust your settings, something that's really, really cool and really focused on with our assistant is you can say little things, right? Like, I'm chilly or I'm really hot. And based on what you say, it makes minor adjustments to really try to feel what the guest is trying to tell them.
Now,
So if you
much
say
of this
something
works
like,
with a
"Hey,
Drive
Lexus,
Connect data subscription,
cold."
which is free for the first 3 years. We talked for 15 minutes, and I'll post that whole chat in a separate video. For now, I'll just say this is a huge improvement over the trackpad, but hardly perfect. After a couple over-the-air updates, it'll be better baked.
We'll also have a user profile feature where the driver can personalize their settings, and that experience can be kept in the cloud so that when they get into another Lexus vehicle that's equipped with the same technology, those settings will carry over. We also have a digital key technology which enables you to use your smartphone to share access to your vehicle. So let's say you want to give your friend the opportunity to unlock and drive the vehicle. You can do that via the app.
Evil Twin didn't make it to Phoenix. They yanked him off the plane, wouldn't wear a mask, so I will be assessing the back seat. I'm 5'9". I've got a good amount of headroom, and with this adjusted for my comfortable driving position, knee, leg, and foot room are pretty generous. The cushions are high enough so that thigh support is actually excellent. Door openings are a little bit on the small side, but getting car seats in and out shouldn't be too much of a hassle. Door pockets, those are big enough so you can stash a lot of kit here. Those same trick door handles are in the back as well. No built-in sunshades, though. My brother would love the fact that there is a seat pocket here. Those of you in Duluth, Minnesota, just know you can get heated seats in the NX in back here. Charging your electronics, that is not an issue. The center spine, not too intrusive, so that's not a big deal. You could get 3 full-sized adults back here, but I would keep it to 2. Plus, they'd have a place to put their coffee.
The 2022 NX will be instantly recognizable to current owners. It's roughly the same as the original, a smidge longer, wider, and taller. The Lexus L does not appear on the back. This typeface doesn't replace the classic stylized font that's appeared with the logo since day one. It's strictly for the rump of the vehicle. Looking at the rear, not sure the wiper would tuck in under here, so it just sits here. The Nike swoosh that was below the headlamps is now within the assembly for a cleaner front, though that Darth Vader face hasn't gotten any smaller. About active electronic safety, Lexus Safety System Plus 3.0 is very comprehensive and standard. It includes automatic emergency braking, lane keeping, adaptive cruise, left turn oncoming vehicle braking, and much, much more, and all of the tech seems well done.
I'm in the middle of nowhere, so nope, there won't be the TP trunk test. I have no idea where the closest Costco is, but I can tell you about the cargo area. Lots of good things here. For starters, there's lots of space under here for storage and a place to stash the security shade, but unfortunately, no spare tire. NX has run flats.
Cargo space is up nearly 14%. Handy bits make the space more useful. While the NX isn't enormous like the LX, and there's a new one coming if you haven't heard, powered seats, those are nice to have. Not so much for dropping, but for raising. And so you know, that can be done from the driver's seat, though it's in a menu. With all the seats down, there's a respectable 47 cubic feet to fill. Full of passengers, it's just shy of 23. Should be plenty practical. Let's get to red light, green light. Green lights. There's an NX for everyone with 4 different powertrains, and it's great that the eco-friendly plug-in hybrid is the swiftest of the bunch. The more athletic feel of Lexus Signature Drive, a common dynamic that the brand is trying to achieve across all of its vehicles, is a welcome upgrade to the days when Lexus was just about quiet and comfortable. The new user interface that's available in 10 and the demonstrated 14-inch display sizes, people will trade in their old NXs simply to get it. Yellow lights? Generation 2 looks good, much like Gen 1, maybe too much. All the daring seems to be in the grille. The interior is appropriate for the class. Sad to see some of the stitching was taken out of the dashboard. I'm happy to see the new interface, but in my brief time with it, seems like more work is needed, especially since response time to voice prompts can be kind of slow. Red light. I think all crossover SUVs should have a spare tire. Run flats can work, but severe damage can be a huge hassle. Ask me how I know. I get the sense that the 450h Plus plug-in hybrid is going to be as hard to find as RAV4 Prime, and expensive. I'll get to that in a second. For the full use of Lexus Interface, you'll need a Drive Connect data subscription, another monthly fee after 3 years, and I'm not sure what the price will be. Speaking of, the NX 250 starts at around $39,000 for a front driver. The all-wheel drive 350 that I drove begins at $42,600. The 350h hybrid is around $500 less than that. And the 450h Plus plug-in? That proposition is $56,600. That's quite a premium.
So, should you consider the new Lexus NX? Well, if you're shopping in this category, absolutely. It's a very nice vehicle. Besides, all of these are expensive. You really should be cross-shopping.
Add Audi Q3, Mercedes GLA and GLB, Cadillac XT4, Lincoln Corsair, plus Volvo XC40 to the competitors I've already mentioned. With its record of reliability, owner loyalty, and a wide choice of powertrains, the NX has the market covered. I'll do my best to get a hybrid version soon to test it and the interface on a deeper level. I didn't have time to off-road the NX, but if you're wondering, there's 7.7 inches of ground clearance. But don't forget, no spare. I've twice damaged run flats to the point where they would not run, and that means a long wait for a tow vehicle and the hassle of replacing the tire. Not loads of fun if you're on a road trip. And I'll point out that this was an event that Lexus brought me to. Opinions remain my own. I use their exterior running footage because in COVID times, there are no drive partners on these events, so I can't shoot it. Gotta do what I gotta do.
Well, hopefully you got some useful information out of my first look at the all-new Lexus NX. Normally, I leave you with a fun fact. This time, it's about how I produce these videos on the road. Kind of tough here in Phoenix because right now it's 104 degrees. I'm wearing Levi's, but that isn't the biggest problem. My camera literally overheated and I had to shut down production for a while. Eventually, I learned, you gotta put a towel over it. Keeps it cool. And you might have noticed that when I'm on the road, I don't do any of these fancy slider shots. It's because I just don't have the time. I only have about 4 or 5 hours with the car and I have to assess it. And here, there were bugs everywhere. Of course, now that I'm talking about them, there isn't one to be seen, but it added like a half an hour to my shoot because I was dive bombed. So anyways, every Tuesday, a great car review video like this, so I highly suggest subscribing, right? Good photography, great information, and I don't waste your time. So sign up. That's Driven. I'm Tom Voelk.